Thank you for joining our Self-Directed Learning podcast. Sarah and I are really passionate about this topic. After this podcast, listeners will recognize the benefits of becoming a self-directed learner. You'll be able to illustrate components of self-directed learning in BT and BT supporting tools. And last, you will be able to detect and match individual learning styles to delivery methods. Enjoy! The other day, I used the term self-directed learning in a conversation with a colleague in another part of the business, and he replied to me, "What is it?" So it got me thinking. The definition of a self-directed learner is a learning design where learners take responsibility for mastering their individual performance, and they do this at their own pace without the traditional instructor. So essentially, self-directed learning is the individual taking responsibility for their own learning. They know exactly what skills they need in order to be successful, and they're able to identify the most appropriate resources for that learning. They also know what relationships they need to build in the workplace to increase their learning potential. Looking at this slide, there are many benefits for individuals who are self-directed learners. At an individual level, the individuals learn more quickly and effectively. An individual can learn pretty much anytime, any place, and they're really able to guide his or her own individual learning. And another great benefit is that they can customize their learning to meet their individual learning styles, as well as a design and their individual plan. Now, benefits for the team. They're able to operate and collaborate in non-threatening ways amongst each other and amongst colleagues. They're able to maintain high levels of trust within their teams. Another benefit is individuals and teams can really buddy up and learn together. And additionally, there's really a great deal of mutual support within team members who are self-directed learners, as they really learn and help one another and different members through various learnings in difficult times and processes and procedures. Last, it supports and develops team members, as team members learn to be facilitators within the team as well, while they're part of a self-directed learning team. Now, regarding benefits to organizations, self-directed learning allows more transfer of learning on the job. It also increases speed of response to any sort of changing markets. Additionally, it supports and creates a culture with an emphasis in knowledge sharing and systems thinking. And last, and it's very essential, it allows organizations to survive in the new millennium. Next, Sarah is going to share with you the various components of self-directed learning within BT and BT supporting tools.
The skills you need to be successful in a 21st century company will also make you a successful self-directed learner. Thinking things through, solving problems, applying theory to the real world, data gathering, analysis, learning from experience and from mistakes are all important, as are communicating and working within a team. These are all essential competences that you will need whatever you do. Work skills, however, are those specific skills that you need to do your particular type of job. Career development skills are skills you need to keep ahead of the game, to evolve your current role or to move up into a different role. You may observe that project management is required by the next grade up, and so develop a project management learning plan. Where am I now and where do I want to be? This essential questions and the other questions on this slide will help you get the most out of self-directed learning. Think about your learning styles. For example, if you are a reflector, you will probably value other people's points of view and benefit from talking things through with others. If you are visual, you'll probably benefit from watching podcasts. If you're auditory, you may prefer to download podcasts onto your iPod or have the audio on when doing e-learning. Think about what is required of you in your job or where you are in your career and identify your development needs. Talk to your line manager or maybe your colleagues about this and what the learning outcomes should be. Analyze what you do. Are there any skills gaps? Be proactive in the way you approach your learning. Ask questions, be honest and open about what it is you need and where you want to be. Follow these 4 simple steps to help you with your self-directed learning. Objectives. Ask yourself, what is it that I would like to be able to do after the learning? What is it I actually want to learn? Perhaps you would like to develop your presentation skills, so you would think specifically about what this would mean. Speaking confidently and clearly, for example, having confident and assertive body language. It is also important that objectives are those that can be measured, so use action verbs. Make sure you can measure your success so you can clearly see what it is you have learned and how you apply it. Think about the resources around you. Explore what is available. For example, e-learning, the intranet pages, the people around you, coaching, mentoring, books, tools, professional community curricula. Think about how you can use these resources. Think about your learning strategies. What specifically do you need to learn and how will you learn it? Will you be coached, for example, and who will coach you? What other forms of learning will you employ? Evaluation is also important. Ask yourself, have I met my objectives? And how do I know I have met my objectives? If you are learning how to use a new application, you may do a test after any learning course. If you are learning presentation skills, you may do a presentation in front of experienced colleagues who will then evaluate you against your objectives. Be curious, be comfortable with ambiguity and love the challenge. Have a vision. Where would you like to be next year, in 5 years' time? How will you get there? Keep yourself updated with what is available. Companies change and technologies move on. Resources grow and evolve. Be realistic and give yourself the time you need for your learning, and don't impose impossible timescales. Your team can be a valuable resource, but you can also share your learning with them and develop them too. Let self-directed learning open up a whole new world of development. Would you like to find out more? For further information, take a look at the links on this slide. We hope that you have found this podcast useful.